0933. Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. We've set aside our previously scheduled programming right now in order to pay tribute to the acclaimed documentary filmmaker and friend of TCM, Albert Maysles, who passed away on March 5th at the age of 88. Ironically, it was just 2 days after we finished shooting the introductions to several of his films. Now, originally, Albert himself was going to sit down with me to talk about documentaries that he'd made with his brother and partner David Maysles, but then Albert's health took a bad turn and he wasn't able to do it. So he asked if we would mind if his good friend and fellow documentarian Barbara Koppel would join me in his place. We said, of course not, and that's exactly what happened. The night of the programming was intended to air this coming May. We decided with his passing to bring it to you much earlier in his honor. So right now, here's a salute to the great work of Albert Maysles and his brother David. Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. We're paying tribute to documentary filmmakers Albert and David Maysles tonight. Back with me to talk about their influence is another very talented documentarian, Barbara Koppel, two-time Academy Award winner for the films Harlan County, USA and American Dream. Welcome back, Barbara.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, up next, we bring you a documentary by the Maysles, which covers the final weeks of a 1969 U.S. tour made by the Rolling Stones, a documentary named Gimme Shelter. Now, you worked on this with the Maysles brothers.
I did work on Gimme Shelter a little bit.
Give us a little of your history with them.
I was an intern, and my job at Gimme Shelter was at Madison Square Garden to carry the magazines and also the quarter-inch tapes. So I was very close to Al.
The magazines being
where the film is kept.
Right,
when you were shooting 16mm film. And so I was always in very close proximity to both of them. And also to Stan Goldstein, who had worked on Woodstock, had Albert Maysles around his neck so he could get a good shot. And my job was to be a human tripod, so I had to hold Stan Goldstein up so Albert wouldn't fall. And also, too, I remember the first day that I was there, my job was to stand and guard all of the equipment. And there I was, standing all by myself, and Mick Jagger comes over and stands next to me. And I'm thinking, what am I going to say to him? It's just the two of us standing there. And we talked about how exciting the evening looked, and it was going to be a full house, and then he sort of wandered off, but that really made my evening.
Now, how much was that pre-planned, a documentary like Gimme Shelter? I mean, was that going in, did they pretty much know what they wanted to get or what they hoped to get, or was that just kind of grab as you can?
For documentaries, it's grab as you can, because you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The Rolling Stones came out and they sang their usual fare, but it was also to the audience's response.
Mm-hmm.
And everything,
which you can't predict.
Which you can never predict, but everything was going very smoothly until they decided to do a free concert at Altamont, and that just changed all the rules. The Hells Angels were supposed to be the security, and most of them were totally drugged out. They had chains, they had sawed-off cue sticks where they would beat people. And at the very beginning of going out to Altamont, you saw these beautiful bubbles and people walking, and you thought it was going to be serene, and Woodstock had just happened several months before, and that was all about love and beauty and peace, and this was about horror. I think a radio announcer said that there were 4 births, 4 deaths, and a lot of scuffles. And you saw a lot of it, you saw a lot of the views from the stage of what was going on, and it was nasty. And the beauty, though, of what the Maysles were able to do with it, and the brilliant idea of Charlotte Zwerin, who worked with the Maysles brothers, was to bring the Stones in to watch the editing. And you got to see them seeing all of this from their point of view in the editing room. They didn't say much, but just the look on their face and the feelings that they had about it, you could tell so much.
Interesting. So let's see the film. Fascinating. From 1970, featuring footage from a legendary performance the Rolling Stones gave in New York's Madison Square Garden with Ike and Tina Turner as the opening act. Here's Gimme Shelter.